welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney. Today I've got a fun new video for you. It's the $5 challenge. What is the $5 challenge, you ask? Well, you go anywhere you want. It could be Dollar Tree, Walmart, Target, the thrift store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Home Goods, wherever you want to shop. Find an item that costs less than $5, flip it, and make it look like it cost $1 million. So let's get into these DIYs. For this DIY, I headed into the thrift store and found this wooden little barrel looking thing for $2.99. When I got it home, I decided I wanted to stain this with some brown wax, so that's what I used. You could use a stain and then you could paint it. You could also just leave it a natural color, which I did contemplate whether or not I just wanted to rub some oil on there, but ultimately I decided to use some brown wax. And then for those little kind of gold plastic things around the edge, I did rub the wax over that as well to kind of see if it would mute them down a little bit, because I knew that I could always wipe it off if I didn't like how it looked. Now I'm going to be turning this into a succulent planter that I can use out in my backyard. It's going to be faux though, not real succulents. And I didn't want to waste the bottom of this with filling it completely with rocks and wasting those supplies. So I am taking some Dollar Tree pool noodles. Now, if you are going to leave this outside, no matter what, I would definitely drill some little holes in the base of this so that the water can drain out. Once I got the pool noodles in there, I am using some craft paper in case you want to do this inside. Would not use the craft paper if you're going to put it outside. So in that case, maybe paint these pool noodles brown. And then that way, when you go to dump the rocks, you're not having to use as many rocks to fill it up. Once you get all the rocks in there, then just grab whatever greenery you want. You could change it out and add florals if you wanted to, but now you've got yourself a cute little planter that you could use outdoors or even indoors.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you.
While I was in Goodwill, I snagged this little lamp for 99 cents. I took off the lampshade because it was this beaded thing that was completely covered with dust, and actually I had a different plan I wanted to do. Wiped down the base of it and then took it outside to my spray painting tent, and I spray painted it with some of the gold hammered metallic spray paint. I've never used that before. I really liked it. Anything you see in today's video will definitely be linked down below in the description box, so check there if there's anything you have questions about. Once I got it all spray painted, then I was ready to start working on my lampshade. For the lampshade, I'm using one of these little plastic entertaining pieces. It kind of looks like a popcorn container from the Dollar Tree. It's with all the entertaining stuff. And I'm going to cover it with some fabric that came from Hobby Lobby. Now, you will have a back to this lampshade if you do it the way I'm doing it, which just means that the back will have a seam and it will kind of have fabric laying across each other. So what I'm doing to get this attached is I'm just using some Mod Podge, putting it on this one side, attaching the fabric, and then very carefully wrapping it around, securing it, making sure it's pulled tight and that I have a little bit of fabric overlap on the bottom along with the top of this clear plastic container. To give the lampshade a little more security along the bottom of it, I'm just taking some Mod Podge and just putting about a ½ inch worth of Mod Podge on the base of each of the sides and pushing my fabric down onto that Mod Podge. Once that is finished, I'm ready to get the top all cinched up. To do that, I'm just folding it on top of each other. I don't know the best way to describe this. Kind of like you're basically doing the end of a present where you fold the sides and then fold the tops. That is what I'm doing, and securing it with some hot glue. With the top all secured, now I'm just going along the bottom portion of the lampshade and I'm just trimming off all that extra fabric, just kind of running the scissors along the plastic portion of this container. It just makes it trim exactly to where I need it. Then to finish off these edges here, I'm taking some white lace and using some hot glue and going along the bottom portion of the lamp along with the top. I wanted to put some kind of finial at the top of the lamp, so I had this button in my stash along with a wooden bead and decided to stack these together. I hot glued them together and then took it outside and spray painted it with that same hammered gold spray paint. From there, it was a matter of now building the, I guess, holder for the lampshade. To do that, I'm using some popsicle sticks that I trimmed off the rounded edges, and then I used hot glue to glue them directly to the lamp base. If you feel like this might get tossed tossed around, you probably want to use a stronger glue than what I use, like E6000 or Gorilla Glue, something like that. But I just put one on each side, kind of across from each other, secured that down with hot glue, and then I was ready to start wrapping them with fairy lights. That's right, I'm using fairy lights. Now you could put one of the little Dollar Tree battery operated votives in here if you wanted to, but I chose to use fairy lights. And then I did add a little bit of extra stabilization at the top of the 2 popsicle sticks by taking a popsicle stick and hot gluing that across the top to make sure that the lamp shade sat securely on there. And voila, you've got yourself a cute little springtime lamp.
I fell in love with your colors. They kind of tell me what I'm thinking. I fell in love with the way we are and the way we lose it. There's something different about us and the reason why we stay.
Let me take a minute to tell you about today's sponsor, Care Of. I don't know about you, but I often find myself on the struggle bus when it comes to keeping up with my vitamin needs. That is why I absolutely love Care Of. If you're unfamiliar with it, Care Of is a subscription service that will ship you high-quality vitamins, supplements, and powders to your door every single month. If you are overwhelmed with where to start and not quite sure what you need, you can take the Care Of quiz, which will give you recommendations of the right vitamins and supplements for your specific needs and goals. I love that all of my vitamins come in these convenient personalized packs. I love the little quotes and the jokes, which Care Of has made from plant-based film, which is compostable. Part of my morning routine is adding the collagen powder to my coffee every single day. With it being unflavored, it's so easy to work into my daily routine. You could add it to coffee, tea, smoothies, or even water. And I feel like my skin elasticity is holding steady. You can take Care Of's quiz and see what vitamins and supplements they recommend for you. Click on the link below and use my code COTC50 for 50% off your first order with Care Of. Now, let's check out this next DIY. Let's stroll into Target for the next DIY where you can find a ton of items for $5 or less. I'll be working with this sign that was $3 in the Target Dollar Spot or Bullseye Playground, whatever you call it. I started by taping off the edges of the frame and then painting over the Fresh Baked Pies Daily with some celery colored paint by Waverly Chalk Paint. The next step in this process is to pick a picture. Now, I'm going to be turning this into a special DIY. I'm going to be using some of my mom's handwriting and turning it into a decal sticker. But first I needed to find a picture, so I just took a couple that just make me smile and tried to figure out which one I wanted to use. Once I did that, then this little note that says, "Love Mom." It was one of the last times my mom wrote me a card. I just keep it in my wallet with me at all times. I scanned it into Genius Scan, and then I put it into canva.com. That's where I like to do a lot of my work. Printables, all the stuff. You can get a free account there and do all kinds of fun things. So I put it in there, cleaned it up on canva.com because I found it to be a lot easier to do it there. And then I just uploaded it like you would normally upload an image to your Cricut design space. I uploaded it up there, and then from there it's just a matter of sizing it and then sending it to your cutting machine. I placed the picture down where I wanted it just to kind of mark it, and then I stuck the decal down, and then I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to use a clothespin or some glue dots. In the end, I decided to go with the glue dot route. I just liked how it looked better, but then there you go. I've got this very special DIY with something with my mom's handwriting.
We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us.
I am out in my workshop again. This lovely tray here cost $3.99 at Goodwill, and it definitely needs a sanding, so I'll be using my Bosch Orbital sander, and I'm gonna get to work. Update. So when I saw the bottom of the tray, that is one of the reasons I bought it. I thought, oh, you know what? This is gonna be really pretty if I can kind of bring this wood to life, just leaving it natural and putting the right product on it. And so I'm really hoping, this is what it's looking like, that I can get this paint off. It's gonna be a little troublesome in some of these corners here, but if I can do that, I think this tray is gonna be really gorgeous. So let's keep working on it. At this point, I'm back inside the house and I was feeling optimistic, I should say, but I had all this paint in the corners that my sander couldn't get to. So I decided to try using my Dremel, but that tool was a little too powerful because I started whittling away at it and just it was a little bit of a disaster. Then I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to use my heat gun. The heat gun was a pretty good option but I had to be careful that I didn't burn the wood while I was trying to get the paint off. I didn't want to use city strip or anything like that, citrus strip or whatever it's called, because I didn't want it to stain the wood because again I was trying to keep it natural, and then I just flat out gave up. I was like, you know what, I need to just step away from this. Let's work on the actual tray portion. So I'm using some stencil vinyl and I cut out, you'll notice that these are cut in pieces. So you might all remember the debacle of the hot cocoa tray and all the real audio. I will link that video down below if you want to see what all that was about. I do love this stencil vinyl. It does a very good job of not having, bleeding or anything like that, but it is very tricky to try to get it all placed right. So I just cut my different little pieces apart and set them down individually, which I think worked really, really well. Once those stencil pieces were down, then I took that torch paste and I rubbed it on there, let it sit for the 3 minutes, and then used my honker heat gun to burn the wood. Now that this is all wood burn, you're probably thinking, why is she putting tape on the tray? Trust me, I was asking myself this as well. So I'm going to let you listen to a little real-time audio. The paint residue, there were still white flecks on there that I just couldn't get off, and this was my attempted solution. People who just see wood and just automatically want to paint it, like, really need to have like a 5-minute rule. Like, stare at the object, really think about your choices before you start to do things like paint wood. No turning back now. No turning back now. Too late. Oh, I did it. I did it. Oh, okay. No turning back now. If I could turn back time. If I could find a way to gain back all the time that I spent on this yesterday. Seriously, that's the theme song of this craft. Are there people screaming in horror as you're watching this, probably thinking, no, don't paint it, Courtney. Don't do it. Too late. I did it. I did it. I did it. I had a lot to say during this phase, but in the end, I was happy that I went ahead and decided to paint it green, even though you could still see some of that stubborn white paint, but I do feel like it was the best choice for this project. Here it is, all finished. This is a great little tray for maybe somebody in your life who's a little forgetful, whether it's your kids or your husband, but it's a way for them to keep track of all the things they need to make sure they have when they leave the house.
There's something different about the way we are.
We're running into Dollar Tree for this next DIY. I picked up 2 of these metal candlesticks, which came to $2.50 for 2 of them, or $1.25 each, as you guys know. And I'm going to do a simple step here. I'm telling you, you could do this DIY pretty much in your sleep. You want to wipe down the candlesticks really, really good. Just make sure they're nice and clean. And then I grabbed some antique gold rub and buff. I like to use a paintbrush to put it on there so I can kind of control how much is on there. Once you get it on there, you can go back with a clean, lint-free rag and just buff away at it. Get it looking how you want. And I'm telling you, it totally makes these candlesticks look super classy. And this wraps up a round of DIYs that cost less than $5 to make. Don't forget, you can go to so many different stores and find all kinds of things at bargain prices. Now, let me know down below which one of these projects was your favorite, and also let me know this. If you were given a $100 gift card, where would it be to? What is your all-time favorite store, restaurant? Just let me know. Hotel, travel, like what would it be if you could get any kind of gift card? Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
We're pouring cup after cup after cup. Yeah, it's just the way we do it. Anything just to block out the real.